Games from the Cellar, the board gaming podcast. What we have on the table today is
Winter Circle.
Buds.
Winter Circle in the desert.
all right. All of those answers are incorrect.
Camel Up.
I mean, there are Wilbur Buds on the table.
There are Wilbur Buds on the table.
Also, I felt like Winter Circle in the desert was pretty.
I mean,
There are animals
So
going in
that's-
an oval.
And you move the ones that you want to have win, and
Well,
sucker the ones
Actually,
that
you
don't.
have no control
yeah,
over who
yeah.
moves.
You really have no control. You have because
Sure you do.
The
How?
die drops out of the
How do you have
pyramid,
control?
and you basically have to roll that one if you choose to do the die.
You
don't even get to
roll
choose
a
to
die
roll it.
randomly. You don't get
Rolls
to
when
pick.
it comes out.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Camel Up. It's a racing game. I guess. Would you consider this a racing game, or is this like
No,
a bet?
it's
It's
not
a
a racing
wagering
game at
game.
all. It's a wagering game.
So, Spiel des Jahres winner, which is, I guess, makes sense. But, yeah, who wants to give the running gear on this one?
I already explained it. I'm not explaining it again.
Chris, it's your game. Go.
Let's see. There are 5 different colored camels.
Kind of.
7.
Good job.
Well, 5 of the ones that are going the right direction, and there's 2 that are going the back way.
The Marauder camels.
The Marauder camels.
The confused camels.
Crazy camels?
There's a couple different things we can do on our turn. One is we can bet on the winner. We can bet on the loser. And those pay heavily the sooner you bet on them. There's also, for each round, you can bet which horse is going to win that round or
Camel.
be in first place. Which camel, sorry.
We're not playing
stuck on
Winter Circle.
Which camel is going to be in first place at the end of that round. The first one plays 5, the second one plays 3, and then 2 and 2. And those are the 4 that you can do. If that camel does not come in first or second, then you lose a coin. Okay, so there's 4 different cardboard pieces out there that you can choose on your turn. There's purple, there's yellow, there's red, there's green, and there's blue.
One for each of the camel colors.
One for each of the camel colors that are going in the right direction around the board. Right now we have green and yellow. Yellow is going to be in first place. So if you took that one and the round ended right now, the first person to take the top one would get 5 points. The second person would get 3, and then each person after that could get 2. If you pick one and that horse, that camel, is not in one of the first 2 positions, then they get -1. So there's those that you can take. The other thing is you can actually move the camels. You pick up the pyramid, you press the button, it drops one of the 6 dice out of there, and you get to take a gold coin. Then you move that camel that number of spaces. The way that the camels move is green is stacked on top of yellow. So if green was a dice that rolled right now, green would get to move that many spaces with yellow on its back.
Mm-hmm.
If yellow rolls, then it hops off of the camel's back and moves that way around.
And so the interesting thing about the way these camels operate is when they get stacked on top of each other, they go along for the ride. So it makes for some interesting leaps of, I don't know, racing position where the camel in the back can just hop on the right camel and then go for a ride around the board.
And it's the top camel that is considered in first place. And then the interesting thing about it is there are 2 camels that are going the wrong direction. There's only 1 die that makes them move, so they're not guaranteed to move. One of them can move at the most each round. They're going the wrong direction. So if a camel hops on top of them and then they move, it will actually carry them in the wrong direction.
Just in case the game isn't wild and zany enough as it is.
And then there's tiles you can put out to, if a camel lands on it, it goes forward or backward one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you could put traps out, essentially.
Yeah. And then there's also a new card that we're playing with, since we have so many people playing, where you can make partnerships with other players.
Force partnerships.
Force partnerships with
They
other
are
players.
not optional.
That would be forced.
You cannot refuse them.
But what if I
Also
want
be
to
forced.
refuse them?
You can't.
Bent.
I don't want Cody leeching off of my points.
I'm only
Well,
going to partner with you.
Then just don't be good and you won't.
You know what I really love about
You
this?
could partner with someone else on your turn before he gets the chance to.
True. I better go first.
So when we partner, do we give them our card and take their
Yes.
card?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can only partner with someone who has their original card.
Okay, so you know what I really love about
Be
this
cooler
game?
if you could trade them.
My God.
What do you love
What do
about
you
this
really
game?
love
What
about
do you
this
really
game,
love
Steven?
about this game, Steven?
I love the little Oasis pop-up
Yes.
that happens.
It is pretty cool.
It means nothing to the game, but it's so cool.
When you
It
open
does
the
have
board,
fine table presence.
It does have fine
add
table
to the
presence.
table presence.
All right, shall we play?
that about sums up the game.
No, I thought we were just here to record podcast.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Well, that was a game.
Camel. We're
Camel.
trying to give the best deadpan camel to censor Chris's horse.
No horses.
Horse.
Camels.
Camel.
Horse.
Camel.
Okay, so this begs the question, which is a better game, Camel Up or Winner's Circle?
Well, Camel Up is a game,
Camel Up is the better game.
and Winner's Circle is an experience.
I was going to say Root Canal is a better game than Winner's Circle.
Let's get a root canal.
I feel
Where
like
do I
there's potential
sign?
in a game called Root Canal, just for the humor value
I'm sure
of the
there
name.
is a game.
Yeah,
called Root
that'll be a big seller.
What was the
Among all the
crocodile
dentists.
dentist?
Yeah,
With
you're right.
the-
There's a crocodile
yeah.
dentist.
With the
Yeah.
crocodile with the little teeth that you push down and he bites down on you.
4 out of 5 dentists hate that game.
So who won?
Enough for
Camel
that.
Up.
Cody won.
I
think.
won.
Okay, what's your rating?
It's a 7. Moving on.
All right, who
who's
came
next?
in second?
I don't remember.
I think.
Did I really?
Yeah. You're 3 behind me.
I guess I was only 3 behind you.
All right,
game
what's
is
your
You know
rating?
what 10 minus 3 is?
This game is fine. I give it a 7.
It's a 7. Moving on.
So
No discussion
Third
on this
place
game.
was
I believe it was me.
okay.
I give it 7 camel humps.
That's
that's a lot of humps for
That's
one
a
camel.
horrifically
That's a lot of
disliked
humps.
camel.
That's like a heffalump.
I feel bad for this camel.
Or
A
a
heptalump?
woozle.
Is that
Or
is
a
that,
quick
is that
night.
heptalump? It's a heptalump.
So then I was in fourth place with 26 points.
Sure.
I beat Ed by 1.
Nice.
And man, this was an experience that I would have to give a 7 to. So yeah, 7. I'm good with that.
This could be our
So
shortest
Ed's next,
podcast
'cause
ever.
he was
Ed?
1 less than Steven.
I wonder if I could make this 7 minutes long.
That's a lot of intro. But
You might have to stretch it out.
It's not even worth the download.
Played at 90% speed. Ease it on.
I would say this is a very sandy 7.
What's the Archer quote?
oh,
This is how you get ants.
No. The one about sand.
I don't know if they grade sand, but if
they
they
do.
do, course.
it's like the first episode.
Yes.
It's great.
Buy some sand so I can rub
Rub
it in
it
your
in.
eyes.
I don't know if
John?
we need to get some sand.
Well, I had to take a phone call, so I actually didn't sit down on much, but still managed to do pretty good anyway, just by, you guys took my turn and always
I don't
just
know
rolled the dice, and I kind of did okay anyhow. This is...
Dollar returns.
He does realize he came in dead last.
Dead last by almost
He's the purple camel.
50%. Yeah.
You leave
I-
purple alone.
Significant.
He tried his best.
If, you're saying fifth place was 36?
26 was
25th
4,
was
25
fourth place.
was 5th.
Okay, I got 18.
So you were 7
I
points
wasn't
behind.
even in the room. 18 isn't bad for not being in the room. You guys could have completely
I
screwed
think
me out of everything.
for 3 rounds you didn't bet or partner. So
I think we
And,
basically
and
did.
when I
actually
came
did
back,
screw you
I didn't
pretty
even
hard.
know the rules, and I still managed to score $18 or whatever these things are. But it's
No, you
just-
did well for a mostly absentee player.
It's a very lightweight game, but the good news is it doesn't take itself too seriously. I think they finally.
Wait, you're
they-
talking about you don't have like huge stacks of camels racing around these places?
Well,
Camels
it's-
carrying
they're
camels?
goofy enough, and the artwork sort of matches the goofiness without being over the top. And I got to admit, the palm trees are a little. They may be over the top, but it's fine. I always say this is kind of like a modern Winner's Circle, except Winner's Circle just does take itself too seriously is part of the problem with Winner's Circle, whereas this game sits there and says, look, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be a camel that's crazy in the lead, and then it's going to land on top of the white camel, and the white camel's just going to drag it backwards forever. So there's just you can't pretend that you're going to figure out the perfect strategy for Camel Up and you're going to win 9 games out of 10. It's
But
just
that's
not going
just
to work
it.
that way.
I mean, it's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's a quick little game. It doesn't stay out for an hour and a half. It's
What were
15
you
to
about
20
to
minutes.
say, Chris?
I said it doesn't stay too long on the table.
overstay its welcome.
Oh, that was close.
But it's I hate to say this game is fine, but it's just it's not gonna. It's not the highlight of your day. It's the kind of game where next week, if you ask, hey, what did we play last week? You'll be like, does anyone remember what we played last week?
Something with horses?
Yeah.
Some camel game.
We were not looking for something heavy to play. We were looking for something that was going to be fun and quick and an easy game that everybody could understand and comprehend quickly. So
Even those that weren't at the table.
No,
but
I
it's
thought
also it played 6. I mean, there are just not a lot of games like that are going to be quick and easy like this to play 6. And it is
it's no
fun.
Game of Thrones. I'll give you that.
You're right.
No.
It is no Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But,
I thought the agreement was if we played this now, we didn't have to play it in May.
well, it's probably it's not making the trip to Delaware. So unless you're bringing your copy,
You just got to let me know so I can have an important phone call come
No.
in when this comes out again.
It was a solid
It
maybe
would've shocked
before
me.
we played, and now it's a definite no. So
yes, it is a definite no.
I will take it.
It's a definite.
You
You'll
want to
take the
take it
game?
to
It's your
Delaware?
game?
No,
It's
I'll
your
take
game
the
now.
no.
You own it.
So
Congratulations.
wait a
You know
minute.
what?
Wait,
You're the
I
winner.
will
You're
take
stuck
this
with it
game
now.
home with me.
Is the consensus that we never want to play this again? Is that what
What?
we're coming to here?
I had a fine time
no,
playing it.
it's. I would
Because
play
you
it
guys
again.
were
if we got-
arguing
if we got
over who
30
got to
minutes
not
to
bring
burn.
it to Delaware.
I think this should go in the winner circle box.
Yes.
Oh my God, that would be brilliant. If somebody
Winter Circle was like,
finally
oh,
coerces you into playing Winter Circle, and you open up and Camel Up is inside.
I'm in.
You've never played Winter Circle. You shut the hell up.
So here's
Don't
Not
know
dish
what it's like.
on Winter Circle.
here's my problem with playing Winter Circle. There is no way in hell I can justify giving it a 7.
You're the one that said we have to record on it.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Did
He
I
said
say it in a
yes.
recording? Because I will edit the fuck out.
There will be no evidence.
Soviet redaction.
That's right. It will become an ungame.
Comrade Corn have never existed.
Join the ranks of Tomb.
The footage was misleading.
Right.
Yeah, games that we cannot verify either existed or didn't exist. It is Schrodinger's game.
So
Maybe
the
this
thing
is the wrong crowd.
The thing is, I wouldn't
For Winter
I wouldn't-
Circle or Camel Up?
Yes.
I wouldn't pick Camel Up off the shelf to play, but I didn't hate it. Like, we had a good time. There was some laughter. There was like, oh no, what did the dice say?
So that's what we're going with
But
is
it's-
Sam didn't hate it.
Yep. This game is
I
fine.
definitely didn't
It's
hate this
fine.
game.
This game is fine, but with a positive tone, not a negative one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's loopy enough that you're like, well, whatever, man.
You know what the
Yeah,
worst
I'll
part of
bet.
this
What the
game
heck?
is?
Yeah, you got 30
It's
minutes
over.
to kill. It's like, all right, let's go.
The
Yeah,
table presence?
No, the worst part of this game is that this palm tree's twice the height of the nearest pyramid. That's either a very tiny pyramid or a very
Maybe
large
it's a
palm
perspective
tree.
thing.
Well,
Like,
it is one
we're
that we can
we're
palm.
in the stands by the
We're
palm tree,
under the palm tree,
and the pyramid's very far away.
18 miles
Right,
that
it's a
way.
parallax thing.
We're
Yeah.
watching
Okay.
the race through our binoculars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back on board. This game's great.
Okay. That said,
High 7.
Oh.
that being said, I do think part of the draw with Camel Up over Winter Circle is that in Camel Up you can't really control how long it takes, right? Like, eventually you run out of actions to take. Well, even pretty quickly you run out of good actions to take, and you roll the dice and the game moves along. Whereas with Winter Circle, boy, I feel like we really dragged that one out, huh?
Yeah, it's like
Well, you
I
can.
rolled a saddle. I could move this guy 14, but you know what? Instead, I'm just going to
Screw
move this
him.
other guy 1.
This guy's going to move one.
And so then it's, well, that's a whole nother round that we have to play because we're not moving anybody forward.
Yeah.
And it takes forever.
Okay, when I play Winter Circle, I will always move the farthest I can.
Chris,
I mean,
he said
yes,
win.
that's how
You've
you
got
end the
him.
game quicker.
Yes.
It's just going to be Cody and sitting around with him. We are the winners.
And that is, most games have, goal of the game is to, score the most points or, be the first across the
Winter
finish
Circle is
line.
end
And
the
Winter
game
Circle is
fastest.
end the game as quickly as possible. It's actually a cooperative game.
Yeah, why would you do that? You moved that 118. There's no way you had money on that one.
I don't.
I didn't.
But
Exactly.
The
Why'd
trick,
you laugh?
the trick to
You
Winter
never played
Circle
it.
is
You
to
cannot
lose
laugh
quickly.
until you play it.
I don't know.
you
It's
might
funny.
love it.
It's the context alone in which the game is because I have a pretty good sense for how the game is played, so I feel like I can laugh. It's
Take
like
away
making
the Thunder
jokes.
Road, where Samuel hated it.
I did
almost
not
ruin the
particularly
experience
like
for the
Thunder
rest of us.
Road.
I
We
bet you
played it.
I bet you Ed will play it, and
great.
he'll love it. He'll be on board. He'll be loving the game more than I love
You
it.
can probably put a historical
take that
spin on Winner Circle.
Yeah.
You might be biased.
I mean,
Yeah.
wait a minute. What if Winter Circle suffers from the Thunder Road?
Oh, so I don't. I'm fine.
Samuel's okay with him being the problem.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
This is going to have to be a joint podcast. We're going to cut this with Winner Circle.
The problem with Winter Circle is
That it's Winter Circle. We
Yeah, I was going to
Can't
say.
optimize your move every time.
You
can't-
can, but nobody does.
And
That's
nobody
the problem.
cares.
no, that is the problem. Is because gamers will optimize the fun out of anything
No,
if you let them.
Some gamers.
Okay, some gamers.
Samuel gamers.
Look, lots of people do it. It's not just me.
Look,
Okay.
I look forward to playing Winter Circle and then getting an email the next morning titled, "Hey, I fixed Winter Circle," from Samuel.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Thunder Road.
I did, and then we never played the rules.
There's
game
there's
was
podcast
fine without
evidence
it.
that you did this.
So I'll just mention that with my leadership, we would have been off these microphones 15 minutes ago because we were closing out, and suddenly
You
now,
never gave a number, so
You
we
didn't.
kept going.
I told you this was a superb, lighthearted 7.
I don't think those words came out of your mouth.
Those words never came out of his
changed
mouth.
quite a bit from
with
where it
hints
was
of
Let's
fruit
roll-
minutes
and
ago.
copper.
Let's roll back the tape.
Wait, copper?
All right, now
You know,
Is there blood in your mouth?
There is a wine guy.
That's iron.
That's iron.
Okay.
Thanks. But there is a
I've
wine
heard
guy
it described as coppery.
that is on the radio that will get like a new flavor that can be in wine, and then for like the next 6 or 8 weeks, he will talk about how he tastes that flavor. And I used to listen to him every night on the way home from work, and I'm like, and it was the worst part of public radio around here. And he found copper, and I'm like, dude, take the penny out of your mouth. What do you mean everything tastes like suddenly every wine had hints of copper in it, and it took forever for him to find a new flavor to replace.
Is he drinking Pennsylvania wine?
I have no
does he
clue.
have a
He's
copper
just a
Or
tooth?
jerk.
Detroit wine, or no, Flint, Michigan. That's the one that has heavy metals in
Either
their
way,
wine.
I'm going to take the notes of copper as a subtle dig, not a good thing. I just can't imagine.
This is not the most substantial game on earth. I mean, most of the stuff that we cover has a little bit more heat to it, a little bit more depth, and we're having serious discussions about strategy or how to, counter Chris's, making recommendations that actually help him, or, some other part of it. And this game just isn't that sort of play. It's the kind of game that you just light it up and you just do what you do, and there's just no chance that your camel's actually going to finish where you think your camel's going to finish. And
But it was a
you
good
just
option.
Take it for what it's worth.
It was a good option to pull out
I'm
when we
saying,
didn't have a
hints of
long
copper
time.
and a bit of fruit. I mean, it's a lovely Pinot of a game without
Now
the
he's got
kind of
more to
heavy.
play. Like,
Wow.
what's that,
this
trade
this
on the
is not a
Tigers or something?
Cabernet kind of game.
Is this a wine
What's
tasting
that game
podcast?
you have?
What's
Trade
happening?
Trader on the
Trade on
Tigers?
the Tigers?
Yeah. But he just named like all the different basic.
Oh, yeah, he did.
There's a little wheat, barley,
And a little bit of anarchy.
Hints of fish.
A little bit of ceramic, maybe?
Yeah, I
I
think
move more closer towards the democracy now.
I think if your wine has a hint of fish, it's time to stop drinking it, or whoever it is. Okay,
Yeah.
so we actually all did sort of enjoy this game. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Of
granted,
course. I mean,
I think we
it's-
enjoyed each other's company.
There is
Fun
that.
of the
There is a
Yeah.
certain social lubrication that happens with this game.
Yeah.
And Cody, isn't that why we're here?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we
That's
can
why
all
I'm
play
here.
these games online at home, and that's boring as sin. I mean, we actually come to sit back and enjoy each other's company.
All right, so Camel Up. Anyone else got anything they want to say? Spiel to Jahres winner. I think I
Camel
already mentioned.
down.
Poor purple.
Poor purple. Wrist.
Poor
and
grimace.
Talk about camel down. Jeez.
the perfect melding of a human and a grape.
I mean, it was the only one that got rolled every round, and it still
And went nowhere.
was.
Yeah, it got to what?
6.
8? Yeah.
6 or 7. I don't think it got to 8. It did,
I
I
think
think
it
it got to 6 or
I
7.
think it was
Six or
7, and then it had a heart
Then
attack.
it laid down and just stayed there for the rest of
Took
the
a nap.
game.
Whatever.
It got rolled and it said, "I ain't moving."
All right, so Camel Up, great for families, okay for friends, and yeah, give it a shot.